Switching gears real quick here to NBA. So a couple of things that happened. You alluded to it a little bit earlier that LeBron really played one of his greatest games. And I don't want to overstate it, but I just thought it was a masterful offensive game. He had it all going. I think it was a big game. The opponent was big. The stage was big. It was the feature game, NBA, ABC Saturday night game, which is now kind of their feature game of the week, and home crowd. And he went nuts, 56 points, had the three going, hit all the big clutch shots, put the team on his back, won the game. That was a great performance. I think the issue, and I think every time, and I know there's a lot of unreasonable Laker fans that think every time they get a game, like, now we about to go on the run that's going to take us and we're going to propel ourselves to prominence. And then the reality sets in that, one, the team's not very good. Two, LeBron is 37 years old and had to sit out that next game with that knee that's barking more than it used to. Yes. And as good as you can keep yourself in shape, and he does, absolute. The stories are legendary about how much money he spends on recovery. You can't replace knee ligaments and things and stress and strain from all the basketball he's played his entire career. And we're seeing that. So they played a game against the Spurs, a team that that's below them, which is hard to believe. It's hard to be below the Lakers. They are below the Lakers and still found a way to beat them without LeBron, without AD. So they were severely hampered in that game and dropped that game. So in a stretch where you had to have, I think it was like a 3-game stretch where Spurs, Rockets,
you weren't counting
Wizards.
the Golden State to be a win, right? You were counting all that.
No. I'm saying that was the win.
I know.
And I'm saying you're looking at that going, we just had a big win against
flipped,
the top
right?
team.
Yeah.
Against a top team, and then you're going to
like,
play.
Okay, we're going to get the Spurs.
We're going to get the Spurs,
and then we're going to
play.
Exactly. He's going to put that back to back, and then
you're going to get the Spurs. Then you're going to get the Rockets. Then you're going to get the Wizards. Those are 3 winnable games.
The late, because he was a late scratch.
Yeah,
like later on. Not like up to the minute, but,
but
like, a couple hours before.
Yeah, and it changed the line 6 points.
Yeah, and I was like, and so for me, that was the big red flag about his knee. Yeah. Because before, like, okay, he's always questionable, but he always plays. I'm questionable, but I'm playing. He playing questionable, play. And then you saw, after you drop 56, I ain't never dropped 56 before. But if I did drop 56, I'm going to be ready to play the next game.
Sure.
I'm going to be super excited to get out there. And you know the way that he competed against Golden State, that he was, after, while the adrenaline was still pumping, he's like, probably looking forward to playing the Spurs.
Yeah.
But
the whole team had to be energized.
Oh, for sure. And you see him not take the court, and at least that was for me like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
And so I think you can, as much as I want them to rise like Lazarus, it's not gonna happen. Because that ain't going to that was the time to go ahead and get that other win and get another win, and like you said, try to.
It was a chance to get at least 4.
Try to and then get that momentum going.
Yeah, 4 winnable games.
And with every win, you're buying time for AD to come back to play his 2-3 games and get hurt again. But you're buying that time, and it just never materialized. And then you go okay. This is what I'm thinking. I'm like, all right, if this is a game, particularly the opponent, right? The San Antonio Spurs are one of the last, if not the last in the league against point guards. And so you got Westbrook. Oh, this is your triple-double game. You haven't had one all year. Mm-hmm. This is your opportunity to come in and have a vintage Westbrook performance. And again, he wasn't able to do that. Got into it with some fans. Hey, Russell Westbrook is one of the funniest names I've ever heard in my life. I didn't even know they was calling him that.
Oh, they've been calling him that for years.
They've been calling him Westbrook for years.
Yeah,
Skip.
Skip done hung that chain on his neck like the Rockefeller chain when they gave to Kanye.
So when I read that, I was like, that's so funny. I never knew that. And so you see the footage of him going, hey, don't disrespect my name.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the gig, bro. Like, you making $40 million a year. They're not calling you out your name. They're not doing anything racist. They're calling you Russell Westbrook because you brick. But then I was thinking, I was legit. I was like, man, he could go on to like be a general contractor. like Westbrook, we build your house brick by brick, brick by brick, and you show him missing the shots, like, we do it old fashioned, brick by brick. But I think, but having said that, I'm looking at his reaction to the fans, how sensitive that he is, right? And this is just good old fashioned, because the fans have gotten out of hand before with him. Yeah. But this is good old fashioned rubbing, right? Ribbing. Well, rubbing.
Get
like
your mind out the dirt.
But anyway, sorry. But you go, that's been his problem. Because what you saw was just the symptom, if you will. You saw the, okay. But that's underneath. He has to be sensitive to the misses, sensitive to those things. And because I guarantee you, if we went into a gym with just Russell and you watched him shoot, he probably look like Curry. Just by himself.
Yeah, at the LA Fitness.
Yeah, sure. LA just shooting around.
Yeah.
But he's thinking too much.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that someone calling you Russell Westbrook should affect you.
No.
But you're watching, I think, what's been his problem in every place that he's played.
Yeah.
And it's been the not being able to compartmentalize and really have that laser focus the way that some of the better players around the league have been able to do. I mean, that should not he had to get the referee to come in between him and the fan for them calling him Russell Westbrook. That's like, what are you doing? That's like ninth grade stuff.
And look, you know me, I've been on Russ. I've been one of the people who's kind of questioned whether even the what is it, 3 seasons of triple doubles, if that even meant as much as what people tend to try to say it does. It's an incredible statistical feat, but I don't think it ever led to any wins. But the one thing that hasn't happened is that we haven't seen LeBron, who fought to get him there, just tweet, come out and say, listen, man, Brody, play your game. Don't worry about it. You haven't seen as the leader and the guy who has done this and who will get on his Twitter say, look, don't listen to that, man. We got your back. We doing this. We rise, we fall together. Haven't seen it. It's been very quiet.
You always make your way back to just
well, we're talking about the Lakers. We're talking about the Lakers. He don't play. He doesn't play for the LeBrons. We're talking about the Lakers, are we not?
But LeBron has done that. But LeBron has done that.
Refresh my memory. I mean, maybe
there was an interview where this was a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, where he said, I told him to keep shooting it. I told him to keep, basically a vote of confidence. To keep, because he said we're going to need him basically, coming down the stretch. It was a game of, where he was hitting the construction again.
LeBron's like, we're going to need him to get his stats up so I can trade him. So I can trade him in offseason.
Yes, before the trading deadline. But he was just telling him, keep shooting it. Like, don't think about it. Just keep shooting it,
Okay, so, then I stand corrected. But I think that, because I saw.
But I don't think he should have said that. I think he'd be like, Brody, chill, son.
No, but to me, shoot or not shoot ain't really the issue. I think when it gets to the point where
he brings the ball,
you're getting when you're getting death threats, your family's getting harassed, and we could debate whether or not his wife should be in the middle of it.
Who? What? Who getting the death threats?
That's what they said.
Who's getting death threats? Who?
Westbrook.
He's getting death threats?
That's what I thought I read.
That's what I thought I read?
Yeah, I could be mistaken, but
no,
I think it's crossed the line with people. You know how people get on Twitter.
And his wife?
Yeah.
Going at his wife?
Well, because his wife had a public beef. You saw the public beef with Skip.
Nah, I didn't see that.
So she basically went at Skip and said, look, you're not just going to be disrespecting. Yeah, you're not going to just be disrespecting my man.
Hey, she need to know. She should have went at her husband and be like, you got to toughen up, man.
Or at least you just got to straighten that fucking shot out.
Yeah, one of the two, right?
Like, just get your elbow in. Like,
somebody
tell him that.
Yeah.
Like, get your elbow in and stop coming across your face.
I think calling him Russell Westbrook is perfully in bounds.
Yeah, I mean, for the amount of money he's getting and for the fact that that's the nature of professional sports. That's
and
the
you
game.
Be bricking. Like, it be, or you know what? Just start knocking them down. And they can't say that.
Yeah, like, because the crazy thing is, even from a shooting percentage standpoint, he's not, I think there was a point, and it might still be there, where his shooting percentage is actually better than Curry's.
What?
Yeah.
Like, at where?
There was a moment.
What are you saying
Hold on,
to me?
I'm going to check it.
The sentences that are coming out of your mouth.
Listen.
I would have never. Hey, I thought I was going to hear a lot of things on this show today. Westbrook shooting better. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, first of all, the death threats. I ain't know that. I ain't know that his wife was into it with Skip Bayless. Yeah. And I didn't know that he was shooting better than Curry at any point in his whole life. Like,
or they were shooting similar numbers.
Curry did go through a slump.
Yes.
Okay, he did slump.
So,
but I would rather have
shooting. Russ is shooting 43% from the floor.
That's bad.
And
that's like Iverson levels.
Steph is shooting 43%. They're shooting the exact same percentage from the floor.
They're shooting it. So, hey, we're back. They're shooting the exact same percentage from the dadgum floor.
But see, this is one of the things that's interesting.
Everybody gotta be quiet now.
Because you know what it does.
Like, man, I'm shooting.
But you know what it does is his misses are awful. First and foremost, his misses look very bad. But when you play with LeBron, it's easy to get scapegoated.
But he's shooting way more threes though, and that's why the percentage is like that.
Of course.
For Curry.
But I'm saying just in a basic generic sense.
If I was Westbrook's homeboy, I'd be like, man, tell them folk, man, hey, me and Curry shooting the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You like the way Curry shoot?
Yeah.
Then you gotta love the way I shoot.
Yeah.
It ain't me. You know.
No, it's not always the stats. That's where the stats can lie because he's still 18 and whatever.
Yeah, and then I'm sure that Curry's turnovers are much lower. And all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean,
Russ is 18.
Hey, shout out to Russell Westbrook.
Russ is 18, 7, and 6.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
18, 7.
And we're killing him.
we're killing him.
The world is killing him.
Westbrook.
Yeah, the world is killing him.
Brick by brick. Contracting.
Yeah.
Brick by brick.
And that's why, if you're Russ, I'd be like, look, I ain't gonna say nothing.
Well, yeah. Well, yes, and like I said, I don't understand why. Why are you at the fans? Why are you doing? Like, you have to be able to. You trying to win a game, dog.
Yeah.
And you win the game, and you shut the fans up.
Yeah, you absolutely.
You shoot better, and you shut the fans up.
Yeah.
And particularly, you think about Dejounte Murray is not a great on-ball defender. Going back to what I thought, so I thought that Westbrook was going to be able to play downhill.
Yeah.
And be able to get to the normal at the rim. High percentage, field goal attempts. I thought he was going to do it so much that I played him in fantasy that night. I played him in fantasy and he didn't. Obviously, he didn't deliver.
Yeah, that goes into the bad DFS you've been having.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, hey man, look, we could have I need to talk to somebody about. I need a shrink.
Let's do a whole show talking about your DFS.
Yeah, we could do that. Well, it wouldn't be a very uplifting show.
No, but we can get into all your theories and hey, you gonna play downhill, and then he get 10 points and 2 rebounds. And 2 assists.
Well, okay. So a little bit of nerding out, just a tad. What I didn't anticipate was they're playing DJ Augustine a little bit more, and they should. If they want to win, but they're playing. So, and I was like, gosh, what is this? So they have DJ Augustine bringing the ball up, and Westbrook playing the 2, and I was like, they ain't gonna win like this. They're not gonna win like this.
Vogel,
Frank, mother freaking Vogel. So I'm watching he's running up. Westbrook running like he Bradley Beal or somebody.
Yeah. Let me get on the wing so I can shoot this 3. No. Lastly, KD.
Holy smokes.
KD's back.
He is back.
Seemingly nothing's changed. I don't know. It's like, as someone who likes Brooklyn.
You like Biggie. You like Jay-Z.
Brooklyn in the house, all of that.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Maybe next year. I just don't think it's enough time.
Okay,
and this is KD. KD didn't play well against
Charlotte,
but the first 2 games he came back, he was and
they lost.
Picked up right where he left off, and they lost both those games.
But I think okay,
and 1 and 2 in his return.
Right. They're 4 wins in their last 21. And they lost 11 straight at one point.
Yeah.
But okay, what we've always said was, KD get back and Kyrie on the court together, they got a shot.
Yeah. And
you saw a little bit of that last night. Obviously, before we came on, we were talking about the night that Kyrie had. And I was thinking, man, if I'm KD, after that game, I'm walking in the locker room, I'm gonna have the syringe with the vaccine in my hand.
Yes.
I'm giving you.
Yeah, you're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah, like, hey, man, enough of your shenanigans.
Yeah.
Enough of the, it's my body and all. I'm going, hey, Blake, lock the door.
Yeah.
And I'm a stick you.
Or just bring a doctor and like you gonna get this.
No, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I got to do it myself because this is what, and I know that Charlotte's not the best team. I realize that. But that don't matter. You got a guy that can drop 50 at any given moment, and no one's gonna go, oh wow, he dropped 50. Like they're gonna be like that. Oh, that Kyrie can do that.
Yeah,
he can go off for that.
He gave it to him.
KD is a guy to go, oh, he dropped 50. No one's gonna blink twice.
Yeah.
You got two of those guys on the team.
Yeah.
And you got one guy that's out here on some other stuff. And I know there's some people like, oh no, hey, look at here. I don't know. I don't know what's in the Ed McMuffin. Okay? I just know it tastes good.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in the vaccine. I just know that, the numbers are down. You okay? So come here. I'm going to stick you. I'm going to stick you with the and I know there's a championship in here potentially.
Listen, I don't think there's
you just run up on him and you just
I actually think
against his will.
I would say this.
What are you gonna do if you stick him? What are you gonna do? What is Kyrie gonna do?
I don't think you can do that. I think
I'm saying, what is he gonna do? No, hey, nobody gonna just don't leave the locker room. Right, locker room is sacred. Locker room is sacred. But ain't nobody. If everybody say no, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
And at this point too, I will say I don't even know if Ben Simmons. I don't even know what to make of what's going on.
Hey, look, I read the headline that Ben was making his return, and I got hype, and it said to the bench. And I said, Lord, I almost smashed my laptop.
Why can't he play?
Like, why are you? Like, let me tell you something. I was thinking about this. I was like, man, you know what? They say, he out of shape, right? Out of shape, whatever. If Brooklyn called me tonight, I can give you 12 good minutes. Now, I'm not saying they're gonna be effective minutes,
right?
But you're gonna be like, hey, that Hunter out there, he hustling. I'm gonna play my way, and I'll play my way into even more better.
And
how come he? Because let me tell you something. I know wherever Ben Simmons at, he in better shape than I am.
And not only that, I'll keep it in the context of actual NBA players.
Well, not me,
not you. Part of the issue.
What's wrong with me?
For me, still is this.
What's wrong with me?
There's nothing wrong with you. You're just not an NBA player. I think the thing that's amazing is like Ben.
Cold water.
I'm not throwing cold water. I'm just saying Ben.
Okay, wet blanket.
Is even for 10 minutes still gives you an elite defender, a plus passer. And so while you're getting back in shape, within the game that you're going to be playing.
And developing chemistry, yes.
Yeah, within the game you're going to play. It's not like he's swimming and then going to come get back in the game and play basketball.
And why aren't you? And I asked the question on the other part. Why aren't you already in shape? What have you been doing?
Well, the one thing I will say, not to make an excuse, but I'm assuming we're talking about basketball shape. We're talking about
what else you've been doing.
But the question that I say is, what better way to get into basketball shape than to play basketball?
Then get some run.
Get some run in an NBA game.
In an NBA game.
But this so brings me to my last point, and then we got to close the show out. I'm frustrated, and I don't want to be I'm the old head, the OG, but I will go full OG on this one. I feel like in the era of Magic, Mike, Larry, those guys, and the list goes on and on, Ewing, all the guys that Mike defeated and vanquished, Reggie Miller, Karl Malone, Stockton.
All the dreams he crushed.
Gary Payton, all those guys. Crushed. I feel like those guys.
Did Gary Payton win a championship with the Heat?
With the Heat, yeah, he won a championship with the Heat.
It's weird. So did Shane Battier, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, never mind.
But the point being, it's like I hear KD all the time, and I love KD. I'm a big KD fan, but I hear him all the time when it comes to stuff like what's hurting the team. Oh man, you got to let that man. That each man got his own. That man's got to do what he's got to do. That man's got to. And there's a lot of that.
I can't speak on that.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say. And there's a lot of that around the league. It's not just KD, but it's like, oh man, that man's got to do his business and this, that, and the third. I think there's a point where you have to leave that business at your business manager's office, and when you come to the team facility, it's got to be about basketball. So I think Kevin Durant is well within his rights to go to Ben and say, dude, we need you on the floor. I don't know what you're doing. We need you. Kyrie, you need to reconsider. Or this is going to affect us.
Oh, I'm gonna stick you
because
myself.
that's why Harden got the hell up out of there. And I'm not saying that Harden is free of what this conversation is, but he saw the fact that there was nobody willing to say anything and to bring this team back together and said, you know what, the best chance for me to win is to get up out of here and to get with Embiid.
And that was the report coming from his camp. The report coming from his camp was he didn't like how Nash, obviously was managing the team.
Yeah.
He knew that KD was the leader, but KD wasn't necessarily leading. And
right.
He said they came to a head on how he was dealing with Kyrie.
Right.
That was the issue. And so now, obviously, we see a couple weeks ago, we were like, okay, whenever Harden comes back, he's been back, he's playing. And the Sixers seem to be developing their chemistry, and it seems to be going well. But he fits in there almost perfectly. The guy that I was kind of concerned about was Maxey, because he had seemed to be developing and coming along really nicely. But yes, to your point, you look at those guys, right? You look at the guys you name. You could Bird even towards the end of his career, when he was out of the game, was laying down on the sideline because of his back, trying to
find a way to get a few minutes
and trying to keep it going. You had Rodman on the exercise bike when he was out of the game, and the list goes on of guys who were just trying to do. And you got Ben Simmons, who
didn't Alonzo get a kidney removed and then go get a transplant?
Yeah, he did,
and then came back.
Yeah, I mean, you got Ben, who's 25 years old, talking about he out of shape.
Yeah. But aside from that, I just think,
why are you out of shape? What you been doing?
I think Mike.
He ain't played in 9 months.
Said something.
He ain't played in over 9 months. It's people that wasn't on the earth that's on this earth now.
Yeah.
Since the last time he played, it's new people on the planet.
But who gets to say something to the 25-year-old Ben?
I think your point is right. Kyrie can't say nothing because he just be aloof.
But I'm saying, KD, because what's happening is,
but I always thought KD wasn't a good leader. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I've always said.
KD listens. I think KD is one of these new guys, and LeBron too. These guys listen too much. They listen too much to what's going on. They all do.
That's true, because for LeBron to talk about his respect on the night that he won a championship, you should just let everybody else talk about your respect. Yeah. Let everybody else talk about who you are, who you aren't.
Especially when you're capable.
You got the ring.
Yeah, especially when you're capable of dropping 56 at age 37. Nothing speaks greater. Nothing shuts the detractors up like me than a performance like that.
Right. It's kind of like just do it, Westbrook.
No, 100%. Like, because I was like, at that point, I was like, yo, I had to tweet it. Like, yo, my man got loose.
Super loose. But
but
yes, to your point, I think, I mean, you look at just how did it become that's that man?
Yeah.
Because yes, that's right. That's that man when
he's negotiating his deal.
Or if he work in marketing and you work, in another whole section. Yeah. But y'all work on a team.
You're side by side.
So what you do directly affects
that, and that's ultimately what you're saying is what my problem is. And I don't usually travel this pathway. Like, the game was better when I was a kid. I'm not that guy. But the business is done when your contract is done. After that, we playing ball. And you gotta get on the court, and then the pecking order of who we are and what we are, Mike, Scotty, Dennis. Like, guys got it. Like, when Mike stepped on the court, Mike was a leader, and Mike would bust you in your head if you tried to get in the way of us winning. And I don't think that Mike was the only guy like that. There's guys like that. I think LeBron is like that too, just different. Like, he's not gonna physically accost you, but he will trade you. Yeah. If he doesn't think you're helping them win, but he will get your ass out of there. And I actually respect that.
But it seems like that's not the case right now to what we thought it was. I mean, there's been a schism seemingly between him and Pelinka and the young lady.
Well, because now nobody want to take responsibility for how this Westbrook thing happened.
So, but I guess they were, they just kind of like, hey man, LeBron can't be like, I wanted to trade us. I wanted to do it. Yeah. But and the Lakers were seemingly not wanting to give up the draft capital in order to get rid of him. So because
they got to think about life after LeBron.
Well, yeah, okay. And so my whole thing with that has always been, if you go, like, what do you, life after what? If you win a championship now, isn't that the goal? We've seen teams.
But they weren't going to win a championship by getting John Wall and getting rid of.
Okay.
That wasn't going to make them a contender.
But the thought process should be, right, we came into this wanting to win a championship. I think that for me, at least if I'm them, I believe that if they find some footing, that's a team that won a championship 2 years ago. Now, obviously a lot of that personnel is different. Over,
yeah.
But I'm believing if I got a healthy LeBron and a healthy AD, that we got a shot with, if we can get whoever we can get. And so I felt like that was a miss on.
I actually think it was a smart play, if not a popular. Because here's the thing: if you can trade Westbrook and get,
I think you get rid of him.
No, of course you don't keep him. It didn't work.
Give me John Wall.
No, but trading your problem for somebody else's problem was not the answer. Change for change's sake was not going to make them a championship contender. Now, if you could have got a player or two that could help you, or if you could have got a player or two that'll let you create the cap, like some expiring contract, and somebody was willing to take that mess for some things that you could get out of there that created some space, so you can go and say, all right, AD, LeBron, we're going to revamp and add a couple of pieces for next year, then maybe. But those deals weren't on the table because Westbrook was an expiring deal himself. He had all of this year, and then he becomes expiring next year.
Right.
That's what made it complicated.
Right. So my thought process was, see, you saying they're not going to win a title. I'm saying this is.
I'm saying this year.
Right, and my approach would have been to the deal was, I think that we could. I think that we could. If you look at John Wall's numbers when he came back, at least with the few games that he played with Houston, everything. Well, the assist increased, and the points were relatively the same. So I think he's somewhere around a 9 assist, 10 assist guy per game. A little bit more efficient than Westbrook. I'm thinking maybe with a guy like that, a new jolt. Now, this is me looking at the glass half full. So you're looking
at it mostly full.
Well, yeah, but you're not
right at the top.
But you're not making the deal based on we're not winning a championship. I would be making the deal based on going, I think we can get this thing turned. So my narrative or my premise on making a deal is title this year. And if you don't believe that John Wall could be the difference, then you don't make that deal.
No, first of all, I definitely don't think John Wall has never made the difference any place he's played. That's the first thing.
Yeah, but who he playing? He ain't been nowhere.
But he hasn't even had a Ja Morant type impact or Derrick Rose type impact where when you show up, the team just got better. He hasn't had that either.
I don't know what those.
Although I think he came in as a great skill, like he had amazing skill.
Oh, okay. So
does he have knee problems?
Well, that was my question. Yeah. Like, how healthy is he?
Yeah.
How? Because obviously, he was surprisingly explosive with the Wizards. If you look, so like that sneaky explosion, kind of like how Dwayne Wade had. Like Dwayne Wade be moving like kind of slow motion, and next thing you know,
he's like, he get up on you.
Yeah, how you doing?
But and see, that's the other thing too. Honestly, I never thought this composition of the Lakers was a championship team.
No, dude,
I never even thought it. I'm talking about fully healthy. I said it at the beginning of the year. I said, at the absolute best, this team is 4-5 in the West.
But you said that when they won the championship.
No, I said when they put this team together, I said, looking at the team.
You've been saying it every year.
Because of age. Especially at the time when they had Rondo.
Eventually you're going to be right.
They had no. I'm saying based on what I saw. Howard, Rondo, Anthony, Ariza.
It's weird, man.
Just those guys are 36 and up.
You out there looking at the court and you see Austin Reeves, Malik Monk, Trevor Ariza, Dwight Howard, and LeBron. That's something. I don't know what the hell that is.
But I'm saying even go back to the beginning.
But I'm talking about now.
But go back to the beginning of the year where everybody's high-fiving.
How did this happen?
Where everybody's high-fiving on the roster. It was like, I was like, wait. Y'all know that's Trevor Ariza. He is also in his 18th or 19th season. Like, y'all do know, like, he's played almost as long as LeBron.
They was thinking like, we're gonna go swimming with them cocoons.
And then it was like Howard and Rondo and all those guys. I'm going, at whatever point you're relying on that collective and Carmelo, it's gonna go downhill. And so now you look at a team that's before I didn't even think Austin Reeves was on the active roster. I think,
where did he come from?
Oklahoma State. He's a rookie.
So I'm saying they ain't draft him?
They did draft him.
So then he was on the team.
He was on the team, but not anything that any of us were thinking about because you didn't think he was going to play.
True.
But I think Malik Monk's been
I never even knew he was alive.
I think Malik Monk's been a pleasant surprise.
Oh, yeah, I talked about Malik Monk when he was with Charlotte.
Yeah.
Being able to hoop. And he has been probably the lone bright spot for the Lakers. Is that fair to say?
How do we explain the THT?
Taylor Horton Tucker.
How do you? Okay, let me ask you this, because you follow this team, and I don't want to. You say I always bring the shit back to LeBron.
You do.
Okay, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to bring it back to something. How do we keep seeing these guys who flash, that have potential, that regress? Ingram, going back there, Kuzma, and now THT. When they had him, because in key trades, they were like, he's untouchable. They did the exact same thing with him as they did with Kuzma. They had packages to make themselves better. People go, Kuzma's untouchable. Then they keep him, game regresses. Same thing happened with THT. In your opinion, how does this happen? Are these guys like overvaluated, or are these guys not developing? Like, I don't even want to lead you into the answer. What is your opinion?
Well, when you look at Ingram, I think it's real simple what happened with him. He went to a terrible team where he was the number one option.
And he just got a chance to show it.
Yeah, his minutes went from 28 to 37. His shot attempts increased, and he was running the point a lot. Even when Lonzo was there, and he still runs the point a great deal, even with Daniel Graham there. With Kuzma, obviously, no, I'm not saying obviously to you,
because you were a big fan of Kuzma.
I am still a big fan of Kuzma. I think what happened was they brought in AD the next year, and Kuzma went to the bench because he was starting the year before, in and out of the lineup. And we always talk about him and Tatum, and then after the first 3 years, Kuzma's numbers were better, and then you bring in AD, who they play the same position, and Kuzma goes to the bench. Kuzma has a ring though. I mean, just not for nothing. I'm just simply saying they won with that motley crew of guys.
Right.
Taylor Horton Tucker really seemingly came out of nowhere.
Right.
A slasher guy, a good defender.
Can no longer hit an open shot. He looks lost out there a lot of times.
And
now.
I think, I think, and you want me to have explain that away. It's something that not right now I don't necessarily have an explanation for. I do believe he's a good player, just like, the rest of those guys. But I think that, he plays, I believe he plays the same position as LeBron. And a lot of times when guys come in, no matter if they're a rookie, and I think that's the biggest difference a lot of times when guys come in and they're not necessarily, they don't have the name, is they don't get the time to develop.
Right.
So if let's say you draft a guy like Ja Morant, and then you draft a guy like, somebody late in the second round like Sharif Cooper. Well, Ja Morant's going to see the floor. Sharif Cooper's playing behind Trae Young.
Right.
So a lot of times that development is stymied by just, where you got drafted, fans paying to come in and see Ja Morant, things of that nature. So a lot of times it's minutes, and I think that Taylor, I want to say his whole name all the time.
Taylor Horton
Tucker. I think that, it's just a question of just being able to see consistent minutes.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem
to
is
develop,
No, and I think, listen, he played plenty, and then he showed, he flashed, and then he just hasn't been consistent with a lot of the same minutes.
And I think that one of the things that he was always able to do was
everybody can't play starter minutes.
He was able to get to the rim, and he was a really good finisher around the rim. Always able to get his shot up, off the glass, and just when his jumper was failing, he was really good at attacking. Yeah. And when that went left, I remember the announcers going, "Man, what happened to Taylor Horton Tucker's round?" I mean, he's like laying the ball over the rim, like too hard off the glass, all these weird types of misses, and a lot of times that's just timing, feeling, just trying to get.
A lot of the Lakers be looking like they be playing the Monstars or something.
They are the Monstars. They're playing the Monstars. Monstars got all the power.
Yeah, they got the power away, because some of those guys, you just watch them playing and they just don't look like what they flash. Even your man, even the point guard, the shooter, Monk. There's times when he doesn't look.
He get a little streaky.
He gets a little, like earlier, it was like, as soon as he was open, you're like, oh, I know this going in.
A little streaky, a little streaky. But I think that's the one guy I think who's adjusted playing with LeBron the best.
Right. Now, this team, like, it's crazy, but they didn't have to tear down the last.
Stanley Johnson be out there?
They didn't have to tear down the last two teams that LeBron tore down.
Yeah.
They got to tear this.
No, they.
This one they got to tear down.
Hey, so
this is a hot mess.
This is sound like a job for Westbrook construction.
Yeah, you know? Well, yeah, or deconstruction.
You gotta come in. You gotta come in and clear. You gotta excavate.
Yeah. Now this is a tear down, and you build it back around LeBron at 38. It will be 38 next Christmas. AD, still a young player, still a skilled player, but you know the best ability is availability. That's the problem with AD.
Man, yeah, and I mean, you know, now like I said, LeBron.
Would you move him?
Yes,
you would.
Absolutely, I would move AD. I think they should have moved him by the trade deadline. Yes, I never said it, but it didn't dawn on me how clear it was until afterwards. Honestly, that wasn't something that I was thinking about. But now, like, they should have, because that's the piece you can move. That's the piece
that can get
would have,
you.
Yes, that could have fixed this whole thing, and you may have been able to package him with Westbrook and move both of them.
Exactly.
And now all of a sudden, because everybody, I mean, AD still has a lot of value. He's still under 20 years old.
Under 30.
I mean, that's what I meant. Yeah, under 30 years old. And I think that he could have gotten you a lot of great pieces back.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, I would. Yes, you absolutely. I've even thought about, you know, can you, well, I guess you can't trade LeBron, but I'm just simply saying, like, from the Lakers standpoint, you know, what can you get? Like, everybody's on the block.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Lakers have an interesting dilemma because their box office they still the biggest national TV draw, still draw all the celebrities.
Because AD be over there, like, smiling with it, and like,
fit,
and be like,
let me say this,
raising the roof.
Let me say this too, like,
you 7 feet tall, raising the roof for LeBron.
His fits be dope.
It do.
He be having
which
fresh
takes
braids.
Time.
And it's like
you
man,
6'11".
Can't you rehab?
Why is your clothes that fresh?
Yeah,
you 6'11".
You got the fresh ball mane. You got the fresh Balenciaga. Like
everything fresh. You looking like Prince.
Yeah, he got the glasses.
You look like you Prince. Like, yeah, and you got your.
All he need is a little puppet. He looked like remember Prince was in the dressing room doing the puppet, talking about the girls.
Puppet, yeah,
talking to the girls. That's all he needed on the bench. He looked like Prince.
Yeah, with his shirt open. Ridiculous.
Hey, well, anyway,
get the hell on.
Let's break there. We'll get back
to you can't be hurt and smile and
fly.
big.
Like, you should look grimy. Like, all I do is rehab,
and you be standing up real fast.
Yeah, like
when LeBron do something. I hate that. You can't stand up that fast with a hurt ankle.
You know who do
my ankle been hurt before.
You know who been doing that too is Caruso. Caruso be on the bench, and we get on the run. He be on. I be like, well, get out there and play then. Like
with his bald head.
but he got a wrist, you know what I mean? So you can still
you get out there and just get in front of some people.
Yeah, I mean I guess he got a pin in it. I don't know.
Can you put like some bubble wrap around it?
I mean, he needs to, because he be like, just give me the deflections.
Yeah.
You know.
Bad boy. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face.